Dr. Elizabeth Hafer wants you to get your head on straight. In a world gone sideways, having balance and integrity in all areas of life leads to having confidence that breeds clarity. Clarity is essential to living an authentic life, and all the information shared on the Get Your Head On Straight podcast is designed to inspire you to live your life fulfilled. Enjoy the show.
Welcome to Get Your Head On Straight with Dr. Elizabeth Hafer.
Libby, I am so excited that you're here with me today. I can't wait to talk to you about what you do and what we do, and I can't wait for everybody to hear what we have to say. So let's get to it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I have had you on my heart to interview for quite some time because in my world, you're like the mentor for networking. You're like a networker extraordinaire.
Thank you.
So what I want to talk to you about today is what you're doing these days. And why don't you tell us what you do?
Okay. Well, thank you, first of all, for having me. I appreciate it. My name is Libby Jason. I am a style expert. I'm a confidence builder, an author, and a speaker. And I really emphasize the confidence building because, as you said, I network a lot. And I see so many women that they're in business for themselves. They're brilliant. They are very skilled at what they do, really awesome women. But I don't see them having the confidence to really present themselves in a business way that invites people to get to know them. And a lot of it is how they dress and the image that they portray.
Right. It's interesting because we live in a very judgmental world, and especially in Orange County. Wow. Like I never experienced it to the level that I experienced it. Growing up in Iowa, I think they made the videos, the people of Walmart, starting in either Iowa or Arkansas. So when I moved to Orange County, I realized the bar had been raised as far as how do you present yourself with your appearance. And it was funny. I was at a comedy show last night, and the guy was teasing about different professions. And of course, we got into a conversation about who loves what they do. I raised my hand. I'm a chiropractor. We had this long diatribe about like, how does the chiropractor know that your molar needs replaced? And then the dental hygienist chimes in. And he said, do you experience people that just come in and they tell you that they floss and then you pull an Oreo out of their mouth? And she's like, not in Orange County.
Oh,
because people are very conscious about how they look and how they present themselves. And obviously there is a massive importance to that.
Right.
It's not about vanity. It's about believing in who you are and presenting yourself to the world because you believe in who you are.
Right.
And that's the vibe that I've always gotten from you. And I've gotten to be a part of your life for at least the last 10 years. And another cool thing that I want to shout out to Libby about is that for the last 5 years, Galena Denzel and I have had this thing called the Be Well Summit. And she was like the first person that signed up as a vendor. And she has presented several different businesses that she does at our Be Well Summit. And all of them have included confidence building, networking, and helping people do better in business and feel better about themselves on a personal level. And I know that that comes from a place from your heart, in a place that's loving and caring and genuine.
Thank you.
So how did you get into this?
Well, first of all, as far as fashion and style and all that, my mom and I co-owned a boutique shop in Newport Beach. That was many, many years ago, but she was always a clothes horse and she taught me so many things. So that was really valuable. Fast forward, I ended up starting a tabletop design business when people thought, what in the world is that? You know, because nobody knew what it was. I said, so you go to people's houses and set their table. I said, well, not really. At that time, everything was Noritake China, 5-piece matching place setting, everything matched. And I thought, there's patterns, there's colors, there's so many different things. Let's change it up. So I started that company so that I could express myself that way creatively and artistically. And I also found that if I was doing a party for someone, say Fred's nerd and he loves to bike in Italy, that I would create an entire tabletop atmosphere that was all about Fred and all about him biking in Italy. So all the guests that would come really got to know Fred.
That is so cool.
That went really well. I partnered with a personal chef and we had that business for probably 13 years. Very, very physical job, which was probably the one reason that I came for chiropractic care.
That's funny.
I was hauling really, Italian dinnerware or something, or just all the different crates and things really threw me out.
My grandmother we called them tablescapes.
Yes.
And it wasn't as ornate as what it sounds like you were doing, because you basically were doing what people do now on a huge level for parties and scaled it down to the dining table, which is where the life happens anyway, right?
It's more intimate.
Yeah, that is so neat. But man, that is an expensive hobby. I tell you.
Yes.
My grandmother, when she was downsizing, selling the home after my grandfather had passed, she wanted me to inherit the tablescapes. And I was like, you're lucky if I even get a paper plate on the dinner table. I mean, it's important to have dinner, and my family does it every night together, but good night. We don't have any time for candles and ornaments, and if we did, my kids would be throwing them across the table at each other. But I can appreciate the beauty and the art of that. That is so neat. I didn't even know that about you. I love it when I interview my guests who are also my friends most of the time, because I didn't know that about you. That is really cool. So then that led you into needing a chiropractor, which led you to precision chiropractic.
Right, exactly. I had a whole warehouse.
Wow.
I had props, tableware, I had everything.
That's amazing.
So consequently, I was chief cook and bottle washer for a long time.
Great title.
And I would hire college kids and stuff to do a lot of the heavy lifting. But I quickly found that I had a completely different work ethic than a college kid.
Right.
And even though they may have the brawn, I would be moving really quickly and hauling a lot of things. And I know my husband said, you burn out all the kids that work for you because your energy level is off the charts.
Right.
And I said, but that's a practice, like working on a farm. You get used to it.
Exactly.
So what happened is, because especially during the holiday time, and I think that's when I came, was during the holidays, I was moving so many things and lifting so many things that sometimes I wasn't doing it correctly. Like you think you do, but then you really don't.
Correct.
And I have to say, my family and my husband are all in the medical field. So quite honestly, going to a chiropractor was like, oh my gosh, it's like, you don't do that because we're from the medical practice. And I was also in healthcare previously. So my girlfriend actually said, you need to get your back adjusted, because you're not going to be able to continue at the level that you want to unless things are aligned. And I thought, I didn't, I'd heard all these things. I thought, no. And so she was great. She said, you like shrimp, don't you? And I said, yes. She said, well, have you ever gone to a restaurant and had shrimp, but it wasn't good shrimp? So would you go back to that restaurant? I said, no. She said, well, would you stop eating shrimp? I said, well, no, I'd find somebody else that had good shrimp. She goes, okay. So your view of what a chiropractor does may not have been what really good care is. So, and I remember that. I thought, okay, that's really valuable. So she actually had to load me in the back of her SUV, drive me over here. And the reason I knew about the practice was through a networking group, of course.
Right.
And she brought me in her SUV. They unloaded me, and I was so bad, I couldn't even walk in here.
Right.
I could not walk in here. I couldn't even walk in my shower. And really, I felt better after the first adjustment.
Right.
And what I really liked is that there were x-rays taken first, which that gave me a comfort level. And it was the best decision I ever made.
That's awesome. I love knowing, because you have been a member of the practice for 20 some years, right?
Yeah, about 29 years.
And obviously that predates me about 2 decades,
right?
Which is outstanding. And I love that, having come into this amazing practice, I get to meet all these people that predated me. You were getting Blair Care before I even knew about Blair Care, and now I practice Blair. I just love that you understand the importance of having your alignment, because it helps you function.
Absolutely. And sleep.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And just get through the day. Our head weighs so much, even if we don't puff it up. And now I find with cell phones, and we're looking down a lot, or driving and my arms are extended, and a lot of those things, not even lifting.
Right.
That by coming more often to make sure that everything is okie dokie, it has really helped.
Yeah, I've noticed that, because there was several years where you would only come in maybe once a year, and it was after some sort of like, I tripped and I fell, or
Right.
something happened. And now you've been a little bit more consistent with having maintenance visits because you want to maintain your hold. And it's not that you ever actually went out of alignment, because you've been holding your upper cervical correction for years.
Even when I fell down the stairs.
I know.
I fell down these stairs because, of course, I'm running down the stairs really fast and didn't see the very last step.
Yeah.
And that was very exciting.
I know. I always enjoy getting to take the history on what have you done now?
What have you?
And is this the thing that's going to knock you out? But so far, nothing has been able to knock that adjustment out. Libby Jason is the holder of all holders.
Well, I really love Blair. And you know what I found is there's not a lot of doctors that do it.
Unfortunately, you're correct.
You know what? This is great. It's not, I'm sure your listeners already know, but there's not, they have this machine that does that and that machine that pulls you over here and this one that, it isn't. It's just naturally the way your body is supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And your body knows what to do. Your body knows how to heal itself. Your body knows how to take care of itself. If we just allow our bodies, if we just listen to what our bodies are saying, whether it's nutrition or anything, we know what we need to do. Just make it communicate with each other again, and you will be fine.
Absolutely. So let's talk about your husband really quick, because he is a medical doctor.
Mm-hmm. Right.
He's obviously a believer now because he sees that the Blair upper cervical correction keeps you going.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And so while we haven't got him to become a patient yet,
right,
that is a goal of my lifetime. Yeah. But I'm just so grateful that he understands the importance, and it's not like you get permission from him, but he values it. And he says, have you gone to the chiropractor?
Yeah, he's pretty good. I'll just say, I'm going to go over and get checked to make sure everything's fine. And then he won't really say anything when he comes back. He'll go, well, how was it? I said, I feel a whole lot better. He said, oh, well, okay, that's good.
Yeah.
So we haven't quite got him there yet, but we're moving in that direction.
Right. Meet people where they are and love them into where you want them to be.
Right.
That's exactly right.
Do you want to see me on a gurney, or do you want to go out to dinner?
Exactly.
What would you like?
Correct. And I know after you leave today, you're going to go do snow skiing in Mammoth. So we keep you moving.
Yes. And so I may be back.
All right, I'll see you next Thursday.
Right.
So I want to go back to the confidence building and the networking. What inspired you to get into that? I know that you had this business with your mom, but this is not something that can be trained. This is an innate quality that you were given. Like, what do you think, like looking back as a young woman, where did you realize that this is where you wanted to head with your life?
Well, I think I always wanted to do something creative. I did the design business. I've been in skincare and cosmetics forever. I'm a great shopper. I can shop like nobody's business. I used to rearrange people's furniture, all sorts of things. And I really sat down one day in my 6th decade now that I thought, okay, what are my God-given gifts? What am I gifted to do? And what do I want to do? And how can I pay it forward? What can I do? And this whole idea of being a style expert, someone else called me that. Wow. I didn't even come up with that. She said, well, you're a style expert. I thought, well, to me, expert is. She goes, yes, you are. She says, I have watched you for years. So I was like, okay. She goes, you should own that. I'm like, okay. So that took a little while. However, when I take a woman shopping, first of all, I can find the best deals ever. But it's as simple as, how can I make this woman feel loved and valuable and visible and feel confident? Because when they're confident, they stand up straighter. They look at you in the eye. They approach other people. Their whole body posture is completely different. And everybody has an amazing story inside them.
Absolutely.
So I'm like, what story is your style say about you? Is it saying, I love people, I'm smart, I think you're terrific, I want to get to know you, I'm interested in you, I'm fun, I'm professional? Or is it, I'm invisible, I'm the shrinking violet, I don't care, that's not approachable. And I personally believe in my faith, that is not how we're designed to be. God wants us to express ourselves, share our faith. We're all unique and fabulous.
Amen.
So show that, edify people.
Yes.
And that's a way to do that. So
I love it. And it's so interesting because as much as we are unique and awesome on the outside, we're unique on the inside.
Absolutely.
And that's where that whole Blair connection ties back in, because the way that we engineer the adjustment is specific to the anatomy that you have. And you're the only person in the world that has it. And so that's why we get the results we get, which is why you have been holding for so long and why you refer so many people here and why I wrote an essay when I was a student. And one of my favorite lines that I wrote was clarity breeds confidence.
Oh, I like that.
And when you're clear, above, down, inside out, you're going to be confident.
Absolutely.
And if it's confidence in who you are with what you do. And you're obviously a really good style expert because other people are saying, hey, this is actually what you're really good at. And it was hard for you to see it because this is just who you've always been. And you embraced it, but you gained confidence in knowing that clarity. Personally, for me, when I was revealed the truth about my life and the different circumstances that I've been through this last year, holy smokes, did I gain so much more confidence in my life, in my practice, in my marriage, in my mothering, in my being a friend. All of that became better because I was clear.
Absolutely.
I had the truth and I was in alignment.
Right.
And so it's just such a powerful concept. And that's why this podcast is something that I want people to understand isn't just about chiropractic. It's the vehicle that I suppose I get the people to talk to through because of what I do. But what I do enables people to live the life they were given to live.
Of course.
More effectively.
Right.
And that's what I love about this is because when I talk to people, it's all connected.
It is all connected. And you know what? What I do is not about the clothes.
Nope.
It's really not about the clothes or the lipstick or the hair. It's really not.
Right.
I was working with a lady yesterday who always kind of had her head down a lot. She lost quite a bit of weight. And so I said, wow, good for you. But her whole posture was leaning her head forward. Her hair would fall into her face. And she was not feeling good. Rounded shoulders, all the posture things that don't help at all.
Right.
And when we're working with her, I do a closet purge. And which is very therapeutic, and it really is therapy because there's so much emotions tied to things. So we do a closet purge for her. And I was trying to show her, okay, get clear on the colors that go with you. You are you. And, people of, oh, this person's winter, this person's summer. Okay, that's great. But your coloring, your eyes, your irises, everything is so unique to you that's a good place to start, not necessarily where you want to end.
Right.
And I found as we're going through certain things, and she'd try them on, and maybe this is too large, or showing her ways to tell. And I said, and she goes, well, is this a good color for me? I said, well, okay, go look at the chart. This is a custom design chart for you. So you tell me. And after about an hour of her doing things, you could tell she was already standing straighter and feeling like, oh, you know what? I don't think this looks good on me. No, this isn't good for me either. So by the end of the 4 hours, she knew which would go. And it was very easy for her to release the things that no longer serve.
That is so powerful because there is so much strength in being able to make a strong decision. Right.
And feel good about the decision you made.
Yeah.
Sometimes
instead of
that boldness.
Exactly. The boldness. Because when you feel like you're being directed and told what to do, you don't walk in confidence. But when you know that you've made a decision based on information that you understand and accept, holy cow, is it empowering?
Yeah.
That is so awesome. I definitely want to have you come and do a closet purge with me.
Okay.
I need some style confidence boosting for sure because I feel like I'm emerging, even though I've been out of college for 10 years. I still have this very I don't want to say poverty mindset, but frugal.
Right.
Because when you're in college, you're poor.
Exactly. Pizza for everybody. That's
Pizza. Yes, and ramen noodles. Right. And those are bad for you, okay?
Yes, they are.
Listeners, they're bad.
Don't eat them. Don't eat them.
But yeah, I know that recently I'm like, you know what? I am going to spend $50 on a bra because it's important.
Yes.
And I feel so much more supported. And I'm not even kidding you. Maybe this is TMI, but when I bought a nice bra, I came to work and I had the best day ever.
You do. Well, you know what? I'll tell you, but it does go with what you do.
Yeah.
All right. Because not only are you supported, like the girls are supported, we love that, but at the same time, everything else is where it's supposed to be. Not, and as we get older, we don't want to run on kneecaps.
For sure.
Everything is where it's supposed to be. So you're not putting more strain on your back because that's trying to do something it wasn't supposed to do.
Precisely.
The undergarment is doing that so that then the back can do what the back's supposed to do and the shoulders do what the back. And so changes your
Oh
look.
my gosh. And my clothes fit better because I was more supported and I felt more confident because I didn't feel like I was messy or sloppy looking.
Right.
And it was a simple bra.
Exactly.
Can you imagine if I actually went out and had pants that were tailored to my body and wore a sweater that was a little bit more high end? I'm getting there. And thankfully I am a little bit more successful and I can afford to do that.
Sure. Well, look at haircuts.
Absolutely.
How do we feel after we get our hair cut?
Absolutely.
And in my case, once it's colored, thank you. It's like there's no bad hair days. You feel great.
Yes.
You could be wearing sweats and it doesn't matter. But if your hair looks good, it's a good day.
And it's the same thing with my eyelashes. I have had my eyelash extensions and it's not about vanity. It's about confidence. I got them as a gift from two of my girlfriends when I was pregnant with Claire. And when you're pregnant, you don't necessarily feel your most beautiful. Your body's growing, things are moving, you're getting bigger. And they got this for me as a gift on my 33rd birthday.
Nice.
And for 6 years, I've had my eyelashes. And I promise you, my eyelash extension girl, her name's Danielle Rupel, for everybody who needs to know. She gets probably 5 people a week just from me wearing my lashes because they are so pretty and they look so
very
natural.
They're very natural. I did not know that about you too. You just now told me.
And so I love being an eyelash model. And it makes, because being a model is never something I've ever considered myself, but I'm an eyelash model.
There you go.
And I send her business all the time because I am confident with the way I look and I hardly ever have to wear makeup because I feel beautiful knowing that I've got my lashes on.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just the simplest thing, but you feel empowered.
Yeah.
You feel great.
Yeah. And honestly, Libby, every time I'm around you, I feel edified. I feel lifted up. I feel supported and loved. And I'm so thankful for that. And I know that you do that for every other person that you're around.
We don't hear edification very often.
Right.
And sometimes that's so simple you'll do something and you'll walk out the door and go, oh gosh, that was a nice guy. Well,
go back and tell them.
It could have just taken 2 seconds to say, you know what, you're really nice. Thank you.
Yes.
And use their name.
Yes.
I mean, it's like a fraction of a second in your day, but that teller in the bank maybe hasn't heard a nice word for a long time.
Absolutely. So that's a great encouragement is to just notice something and say it because like you said, it isn't done often, but I know when people have made comments to me, strangers out in the public, it changes my entire day.
It really does. Just one thing that you mentioned, we were talking a little bit about self-care and you said, it's not vanity, it's taking care of yourself. One thing I find a lot with, especially women of younger kids, we do everything for our kids. We do cartwheels for our kids because we love them. And we would go without so that the kids have X, Y, and Z. And it's good to a point. But one woman that I was talking to, her self-care was pretty much non-existent. And I said, you want to be a good mom, right? And she said, oh, yeah. I said, so you're teaching your daughters not to care for themselves because you lead by example. They're going to see, not that they shouldn't see mom sacrifice or do this or do that, but they need to see, you know what? Mom's getting a massage today. Mom wants to take a bubble bath today. Mom got a new blouse today. They need to see that you value yourself.
Yeah.
And you do that with them, but you do that for yourself and for others because the Bible says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you.
Yeah.
Not instead of.
Exactly.
In place of, but you want to take care of yourself too. So you set that example that you're valuable, you're important, and self-care is not selfish. It's self-care.
Yeah.
You're caring for
it's
yourself.
Necessary and it's vital.
Yes,
and I've
absolutely.
learned that so much this year, so much in the last 10 months. My daughters have seen me go through the gamut of emotions and they see that if I need to cry, I will, because for a long time I would hold it in and I would try to be strong, but that didn't serve me. It just made me sicker.
Yeah.
And so, wow, I totally resonate with that. And I'm so thankful that you brought that up. Libby, how can people find you? Because you obviously have something that the world needs to hear. And I have people that listen to me all over the world. So what if somebody from Denmark wants to get a hold of you?
Well, Denmark, you can go on the web.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank goodness that at least there is the web now.
Yes.
It's libbyjason.com. I made it real simple, libbyjason.com. And there you can have access to my book. It's on Amazon. You can go through there. What I offer is a complimentary clarity call. and they can schedule that right on the website. And it really is an opportunity to kind of talk about them and what's important to them. And if there's a way that we can fit, great. And just happy to do that.
I love it. So they
get a freebie too. If they go on my website, libbyjason.com/freebie.
I love it.
They get a little freebie.
This girl's got swag, so you want to get on that. So we covered clarity, we covered confidence, we covered edification, self-care. I mean, what else can we talk about? Oh you got to get to the mountain.
Yes.
I got to get to work.
Right, I know.
I get to love on people all day long today, and I'm really excited to do so. Libby, this was a very delightful conversation.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really glad to be here.
Awesome. Well, stay tuned, guys. You're going to hear more awesome things coming up on our next episode. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can find me at wellconnectedchiro.com. And you can always email me at info@wellconnectedchiro.com. Thanks for listening.
Thank you for listening to Get Your Head On Straight with Dr. Elizabeth Hafer. Visit wellconnectedchiro.com for more details from the show blog post and to learn what Blair Upper Cervical Chiropractic can do for you. To learn more about Dr. Hafer and her practice, you can find her at Well Connected Chiropractic in Mission Viejo, California by visiting wellconnectedchiro.com for more information.